Hello, hello, and happy Wednesday to anybody who might already be here. We will be continuing our playthrough of Ace Attorney, Spirit of Justice. We are on the, what is it, the third case? I can verify that here in a second. It's Turnabout, Storyteller, 1, 2, 3, fourth case, tiny case. And we are on the second part of that case. Now, I didn't give myself enough time to actually review the case, I will be honest. So we're gonna have to kind of figure this out together. So let's go ahead and click into the game here. Hopefully it doesn't start with a cutscene. Okay, cool. We just got like a
welcome
title card.
Boy.
Hey, Sheepy, what's up, man? Welcome in, welcome in. Sheepy boy. Never seen that intro. A glitch really caught me off guard. Oh, really? Nice. Yeah, that's when I had Panda get it from this website that he gets a lot of that stuff, and then I further edited it to add all of our faces in and stuff and make it more personalized. And yeah, I thought it turned out pretty good. I hope you liked it, but yeah, it probably was pretty loud. I worry sometimes that it might freak people out. I don't ever want to make people jump as a viewer, so if it's that loud, I guess just let me know. And I can consider trying to probably lower it and then re-export it with a lowered audio. Would probably I'd have to do that, because I don't think you get like a volume mixer in OBS for that, but I can make it happen. Let me know. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it though. So yeah, let's go to the court record here. All right, so I'm remembering there was our let's go over her profiles. Our defendant here is Bucky Wet, my client for this case, and the fourth head of Wet Soba. He's still got a lot to learn about noodle making. So what I do remember is that we're this case, we are Athena. Athena is all by herself though. Apollo is with Trucy at one of her magic shows, helping her out as an assistant, and Phoenix is all the way in Kaurain or whatever, still visiting Maya. So this is Athena totally by herself. I think it's the first time she's ever been by herself, I think, maybe. And so she was just handed this case, and it was like last minute, so she really didn't get any time to prepare. So it's one of those situations where we've been in before, where you don't get any investigation period. You just go straight into the trial, and you just get handed a bunch of evidence, which probably does happen, I guess, sometimes. So yeah, so then we met Bucky Wet. Bucky Wet, he's like drunk all the time. And yeah, he's the guy who has been accused of murder, and he was accused of murdering the victim, Taifu Toanido, the Rakugo storyteller of 55 years who is famous for his soba-based routines. He has 2 disciples under him in his troupe. Now, Rakugo, we learned, is a storytelling style in Japan where a person often will do a lot of like miming of actions and things like that, and it's sort of like they're just like a one-man show, and they like recite the story or tell the story or whatever while using a lot of miming and stuff like that. I think they're comedies a lot of the time too. Yeah, anyway, so he was found dead, and we'll go over his autopsy report later, but he is the victim. That's how we know him. And one of his disciples, we learned, she was one of the witnesses last week, was Giru Toanido. She's a balloon artist and her master's senior disciple. She has 12 years of performance under her belt. Yeah, and so she's interesting. She's a very sexualized character, that's for sure. She's a character that, if anybody remembers, blew up on the internet at one point for some reason. I don't even know what sparked it, but all of a sudden everybody was like, had the hots for this girl. But she is a pretty interesting character so far. Like, she seems to be lying about a lot of stuff, so could be guilty. We'll have to see. I think it's okay. I just jump at everything. Okay, right on. Well, I guess it's okay as long as you're okay with it. I don't want anybody to jump who doesn't want to jump. Yeah.
And Tom to Jappy.
Welcome in, Togepi. We were just trying to brush up on the case. I didn't give myself enough time to read over it, so I'm kind of figuring out as I go here. But yeah, we're just going over profiles first. And then we have the other disciple, who is Uendo Toanido, a Rakugo storyteller and a junior disciple after Giru. He has less experience than Giru, yet he's become higher ranked than her. And he has this trait about him that we learned about, that he has multiple personalities, and he would show us 3 of them, which is his default personality, which is what you see here in this picture. But then he'll like turn to his for his left side to face us, and he'll be a woman who's, you know, like smoking a cigarette in a way, but he's just doing the miming thing, like a Rakugo thing with a fan. And then if he turns the other way, he has his fan out, and he's like a little jester guy. Hey, Panda! Thanks for gifting that sub to Sheepy. Now Sheepy doesn't have to watch any of them stupid ads. Hell yeah. That's awesome. Thanks, man. And thanks for hanging out, man. I really appreciate it. Coming by. Yeah, let's see. So that's all the profiles, really. Oh, yeah, and Simon is a witness, too, because Simon was at the place when the murder happened. He was actually in the hallway with Gidu Tonita, but we will get to that when we get into the evidence. But that is also why Simon is involved. He's been on our side of the aisle, so if anybody does not know, Simon is a prosecutor who excels at psychological manipulation. As far as psychology goes, he's kind of like my senior, I guess. That's from Athena. But yeah, so he's normally a prosecutor. He's a prosecutor for a previous game, but he is now on our side helping us out, which is pretty cool. Happy daylight savings times. Oh yeah, because it's right. That's why you can be here. I forgot you just did that. Was that yesterday when you came in? Yeah, I forget about that. So we have, how long is it again? We have like a week or something. 2 weeks, right? Yeah, we get that weird 2 weeks. It is pretty cool. Yeah, so it's a lot earlier for you, isn't it? I guess that makes sense why we were just chatting earlier too. It would have been really late for you normally. Till the 31st this year. Oh, okay, nice. I wonder when we'll finally stop, because I thought we were going to stop, but apparently that hasn't passed like through the government yet, all the way. I hope we stop. I think it's a silly thing, but anyways, we've had that conversation. Thought we were stopping too. Yeah, what the fuck? Why did it's like everybody's talked about it, but nobody actually enacted it, dude? Like, what the hell? We're all sitting here like, why the hell are we switching our clocks back? Speaking of Uendo, I was looking up extensions of his theme and came across a video where Uendo was on the right side of the screen, and every second his stack of pillows would rise up until he was no longer on screen by the end. That's pretty funny. Yeah, I forgot they were doing that gag. Yeah, because he was like sitting on pillows, because that's what you do with Rakugo, I guess is common. And yeah, like he would suddenly have more or less in some parts of the story last week. So that's funny that you found that. That's awesome. They don't in Malaysia. Yeah, I feel like they don't in a lot of places now. I mean, even in America, there are states that don't do it. So it's like, why can't we just all not do it? Come on, dude. All right, let's see. The backstage diagram of the backstage area showing the location of the stage, the dressing room, and the yard. So the dressing room is where the murder happened. The guy was in his dressing room, and I guess I'm remembering parts of it now. I can flesh it out a little bit more in my head. So the victim was in the dressing room, and he was supposedly making soba noodles, I believe. And then Gidu and Simon, the other prosecutor guy, they both come down the staff entrance, and they're like standing over, like right over here or something. And they were going to go in and visit him, but they heard the sound of him possibly practicing one of his routines, and they're like, oh, okay, well, we're not going to bother him. Then they witnessed I believe the defendant go in there and then come out angry, like maybe 10 minutes later or something. And then shortly after that, I think Uendo went in there and came out in just like a moment. And then he's the one that found the body. And so that's why our defendant was accused, because yeah, he had apparently found the body. But we had found out some things, which I don't know if we have evidence for them yet. I don't know if I'm jumping ahead. No, it looks like we won't go over them in the evidence. So one other thing we found out was that Uendo had put a TV in front of the dressing room door. So what Simon and Gidu were actually hearing was not the guy in there practicing, the victim practicing. They were actually hearing the TV and someone on the TV giving the same story they thought that this guy was practicing. But it turns out what they were actually seeing was what was live on stage, which was Uendo. So Uendo had put the TV there to trick people into thinking that the victim was still alive at a certain point when he wasn't, by performing the victim's story on stage and having the monitor close to the door so people would hear the victim's story being told and assume he was practicing. So definitely something weird with Uendo with that. And then when he came back into the room, he ended up moving the TV back into where it was. We ended up getting that out of him, and that's kind of how we figured all that out. I think that was pretty much the big stuff from last week, but we'll go over the rest of the evidence here. At the crime scene, this is what it looked like. I think it was like asphyxiation that he died of. We'll get to that in the autopsy report. Yeah, that's just like soba sauce. That's not like that's not blood. Yeah, you can see the guy had pushed the TV all the way back in the corner. I'm in no way educated, but I believe it applies to places closer to the North Pole. People by the equator probably don't see much change. It probably applies to South Pole as well. You're talking about like daylight saving stuff? Is that what you mean? Yeah, it's right with the technology. I think you just don't need it anywhere anymore, right? We have technology now. Let's see. Is there any other thing to note? Oh yeah, Uendo had eaten this. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, that was a big thing. So we had found out that Uendo is a very lightweight person, so he can't drink much, or he loses, like, he blacks out or whatever. And I think we were at least theorizing that he may have gotten drunk by eating half of this alcoholic bun, and then his fourth personality came out and may have killed the victim. I think that's what we were trying to prove last week. It's all starting to slide back in. Because at one point they had said that the cards, the cards did indicate our client, but we showed that the stain from the soba noodles actually indicated somebody named Owen, and Owen fourth. And so I think we are saying that the victim was trying to say it was his fourth personality named Owen, but he would not admit to having a fourth personality named Owen. Uendo wouldn't. Oh yeah, here's some notes here. The victim was making soba noodles from scratch in the dressing room. The room is covered in soba flour. There are two drink cans in the fridge. The TV can be used to monitor the stage from the dressing room. So there's that. We got the autopsy report. Taifu Tornito's autopsy report. Time of death, May 12th, 225. Cause of death, suffocation. Nothing was found in his lungs. Suffocation, no breathing. We got wet soba deed. Oh yeah. That's another part of the story here. So the reason why our client was theorized to be upset was because the victim had possession of this deed, and apparently he must have stolen or something. I don't know, but Bucky Wet wants to own the soba shop that he owns. He wants to have the deed to it, right? And so he was trying to get the deed back from him, and that's allegedly what they were arguing about when Bucky allegedly killed him. But no proof of that. Yeah, that's the deed for that. So Wet Soba is a restaurant that Bucky works at. Bucky Wet. We got an invitation here. The invitation Simon received from Master Tonito to the show commemorating Uendo's name, succession, and promotion. Oh, that's right. That was another detail, is that Uendo was apparently attaining a stage name, which is like a part of a rite of passage for a Rakugo storyteller. So yeah, so that's why Simon was there. So we know that because he was invited by the victim. So that's why he was going in there to say hi to him. Simon's statement. Simon's eyewitness account of the time of the incident includes additional info. Actually, we need to read the invitation, I think. Rather convenient that Owen Fourth could just so happen to also spell wet number 4. Yeah, I know, isn't that funny? They had to make it work, but it's not too bad. I don't think I questioned it at all last week. Invitation. Inside the envelope was a ticket to the show and a letter from the victim. The letter contained a simple greeting and a rundown of the show's program. Yiru was to perform her balloon act. Then Uendo was to do his soba glutton routine. And finally, Master Tornado was to perform his time soba routine. Alright, Simon's statement. Master Tornado was confirmed alive at 4 p.m. Bucky Wet entered the room at 4:10 and left at 4:20 p.m. 4:20? Uendo discovered the victim's body upon entering the room after Bucky left. Before Bucky came to the theater, Giru was outside feeding her dog a number of dumplings. The dog buried his leftovers in the yard. I don't know, why would that matter? Is that gonna come up? But the dog was burying its leftovers in the yard. Gotcha. But yeah, we did prove that he wasn't necessarily alive before, right? It was because of the TV was there. That's what he thought he was alive. And in the Karuta cards in the victim's dressing room, they originally spell out Owen Forth as shown. So yeah, we had to replace them with the stains in the correct shape. That's a fun little puzzle. Hey Loki, you want to come down here? I know, I'm just making a joke about it. Oh yeah, I get you. I get your joke. Faux show. Taifu's note. Note thought to have been written by the victim before his death. Resting, do not disturb. I don't know if we really got to this, did we? Maybe it's something about the camel pattern, maybe? I remember the camel is a symbol of the, that company that made the alcohol and the buns. So maybe we used it for that? I don't know. Maybe we haven't yet. I think we got most of the facts about it. I don't remember exactly why we were breaking for recess and coming back, but I'm sure the dialogue will clue us in right away. So let's just jump on into it, shall we? I think we got the gist of it. I think we all hope the clown girl comes back, right? Oh, let me pause the music. May 13th, District Court, courtroom number 4. Let me make sure my voices are working.
Okay, there's the radio
voice. And then there's the, okay, there we go. We're ready. Yeah, the judge hopes she comes back, absolutely. Are you kidding me? Of course I do. Oh. Now that the sweet buns have arrived, this court is back in session. Oh, that's right. We were getting food. We were getting some more of these alcoholic buns, and everybody wanted one for some reason. Were we trying to see how alcoholic it was? Or were we trying to get Owen to come out? Is that what we're doing? We're going to feed him one? Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, there it is.
Go on, Uendo. Eat up.
So we got to get Owen out here. I don't remember the voice I gave him. Nice flavor. You can really taste the sake. Oh, that was delicious. Yes, a unique sweetness and the faint aroma of sake. Yet, I hardly think that anyone could pass out from eating something like this. What's the matter, Window? You're not afraid of a tiny manju, are you? Or are you scared of how many calories it has? There's a lot of sugar in this thing. Alcoholic buns sound dangerous. They could be. Don't be ridiculous. A sweet little snack like this couldn't possibly... I mean, it could never. Less bleeding, more eating, witness. Fine. Whatever. Chomp, chomp, gulp. See? I told you. It don't affect me in the slightest. We might be a lightweight, but come on. Nobody's that light. Seriously, nobody gets drunk off one little Is this Owen? Is he gonna look completely different? What?
It looks like it worked.
That's what Owen looks like. Is that the back of his hair flipped up over the top of his head? Oh, my. Witness, please tell the court your name and occupation. Oh. Oh, my name is Owen. I'm 5.
You're 5 years old?
Wow. I did not think that that's where this was going to go. So his 4th one's a child? How does that work?
Am I in trouble? Please don't yell at me. Oh.
He's Windows' 4th personality? I'd hardly think a child like him could have motive to murder the victim. And even if he had a motive, could he have actually committed the murder? That's a very good point. No one does appear to have a very timid, to be very timid and weak.
Oh.
It seems the defense was hoping this hidden personality would be the real killer. But now that he is standing here before us, it is clear that none of Uendo's personalities can be the killer.
Ah! Where can I even go from here? Shisho. Owen, do you know something about what happened to your master? Mwah! Come on, buddy. Won't you tell Auntie Athena what happened? Wow, what a scary lady. I'm not scary. Look at Auntie's big smile. Tell me about your master, please. Pretty please with sugar on top.
Unfortunately, the 4th personality was not the serial killer personality. Yeah, it wasn't like the killer or something. Wouldn't it be funny if that's what it was? He's that like cold, calculated guy.
Okay. Shisho was super nice. He would always played with me. Just like a real grandpa. I love Shisho.
Athena, do you sense anything behind his words?
I sense his sadness. Sadness so pure it's heartrending. But no discord. Prosecutor Sadmati is right. Owen isn't the killer.
But then, don't you find it odd?
Find what odd?
Let's review what we've learned so far. The window rearranged the Karuta cards to pin the blame on Bucky.
Well, that's because the original message implicated Owen. But Owen is only 5 years old and absolutely adores Master Toanito.
Your voice is really... Oh, you like it, Chibi? Nice. Thanks, man. Exactly. The other 3 personalities also have no motive for murder. If Owen isn't the true culprit, then the person who first laid out the cards
probably wouldn't have been Master Toanito. So then, who did it?
Defense? Did the appearance of Owen help you figure anything out?
Yes, Your Honor. I now know who it was that first laid out the Karakuta cards.
Karuta. But I thought it was the victim, right?
No, Your Honor. I don't believe it was. The one who first arranged the Karuta cards on the table was none other than...
Okay, let's see. This is not super obvious to me. Save it. Okay. Either it's the true killer, Wet Noodle number 3, or Windows' 5th personality. Probably the true killer. That's the only one that makes sense out of these 3. Because we're not going to argue he's got a 5th personality. Because that seems crazy. So we'll just say the true killer, because that makes the most sense here, right?
I believe the person who laid the cards out is the very person who killed Taifu Toanito.
How quickly you move on to the new target when your Owen theory proves false. You, Polkanon. Polkanon?
I don't know what a Polkanon is, but I know I'm definitely not one. And before you start with the sermons, why don't you hear me out?
Yes, let's hear the defense's reasoning. Please proceed, Miss Sykes. But if you are bluffing, I won't go easy on you.
I understand, Your Honor. Now then, please recall the original crime scene. Who did the Karuta cards name when the scene was discovered?
Let's see. I believe they implicated the defendant, Bucky Wet.
That's right. But when we found out that the message originally read Owen 4th.
Which implicated the young boy, Owen.
Exactly. And the person who rearranged the cards was undoubtedly Uendo.
Uendo may have kept silent, but we can be sure he already knew his master was dead. His tampering with the crime scene using the TV all but proves it.
I confess. I tampered with the crime scene.
The reason Uendo rearranged the Karuta cards and moved the TV was because he saw the Owen 4th message and was convinced Owen had committed the crime.
Right on, Prosecutor Blackwell. It would seem that Owen and the other 3 personalities don't share the same memories.
But really, there is no 4th personality. It's just the 3 of us in here.
Uendo feared that Owen had killed Master Toanito, so he tried to hide Owen from us. No.
But it turns out, Owen is but a 5-year-old child, incapable of hurting a fly. Let alone his beloved master.
So naturally, the culprit must be somebody else. And this somebody else, the true killer, tried to pin the crime on Owen.
I see. That does make sense. This is not but conjecture, composed of half-truths and fantasy. Who, then, do you maintain murdered the victim?
I believe Owen might know something about that.
I refuse to allow such impromptu testimony, and from a 5-year-old no less. Such a young child is incapable of producing anything coherent.
But...
Hey, I once had a parrot testify in here. I mean, I don't know if you really have any grounds to stand on here.
I saw it. I saw Shisho getting... Owen! You do know something, don't you? Yeah.
Oh my. Is this true? If so, we must have Owen testify immediately. Don't you agree, Prosecutor Sadmari? It's all right, Owen. Go ahead and tell us what you know.
I saw it. Shisho was standing with a knife in his hand. Blood was dripping onto Shisho's face, getting it all red. I couldn't move at all. I was so scared, I passed out.
We're gonna find any discord now?
This is eyewitness testimony from the moment of the murder. Owen, can you tell us anything else about what you saw? I was so scared. Oh, so scared. Oh, Owen!
His emotions are spiraling out of control. Something must have really frightened him.
Somebody was killed in front of him, Athena. Something must have frightened the boy. It's almost as if he witnessed a murder. Is he all right?
His emotions are running wild because he's trying to recall something frightening to him. I recommend a therapy session right away. From me.
I see. Yes, please do whatever you can to help the poor boy.
Will do, Your Honor.
I better find the cause of these out-of-control emotions pronto.
Oh, he's so sad. It's out of control.
Shisho was standing with a knife in his hand. Blood was dripping onto Shisho's face, getting it all red.
Was it blood or was it soba juice or whatever? Soba sauce?
I couldn't move at all. I was so scared I passed out.
Okay. Poor kid. He's absolutely terrified of something.
Whatever it is, it might be the root cause of his out-of-control emotions.
I better take another careful look at the images.
That's probably the blood on the guy's face, I guess. He's standing with a knife in his hand, and then this one, he has blood on his face? Because if it was dripping onto his face, how is he standing, right? Isn't that what's weird? Let's save. Scum save. Blood.
Yeah, blood was dripping down onto Shisho's face.
Blood? I don't remember seeing any blood in the crime scene photos.
Oh, yeah, because he didn't even die of anything that he bled from, right? So it's got to be the sauce, right?
Besides, if the victim was standing upright, how could blood drip down onto his face?
As I expected, all we managed to obtain from this child is a tale he dreamt up.
I guess it's a little weird for blood to drip onto a victim's face if he's standing up. Unless it dripped down from the ceiling or something? What do you think, Simon?
I don't know. Owen's one confused and upset kid right now. So, who knows how accurate his memory is. Unless the soba broth defied gravity. Yeah. Now how are we gonna freaking get the judge to accept that? Maybe it's time for that thing instead. For that thing.
Huh? What thing? Just say it, Simon.
That thing that you and your cohorts do, or whatever. What do you call it? Rotate your thinking about?
Oh, you mean turn your thinking around.
Yeah, whatever. It's the same thing either way.
23.
Hey, hoodie, welcome in. How's it going?
No, it isn't. Who's ever heard of rotating your thinking? I mean, rotate is... Hey, wait a minute.
Oh, I see what they're getting at now, because if you rotated him, it would drip on his face. I mean, come on, dude. What?
You know what, Simon? In this case, I think rotate just might work perfectly after all.
Come again?
All I have to do is rotate things by 90 degrees. When he saw his master, Owen must have been...
He must have been so high. Lying on the floor, doing a handstand. Press flat against a wall. No, he was lying on the floor. Obvi.
Owen must have been lying on the floor when he witnessed his master's murder.
What?
That's the conclusion I arrived at when I rotated my thinking by 90 degrees. Which means that all of the visuals in my matrix were off by 90 degrees.
And?
This means Master Toanito was also lying on the floor, which solves another mystery.
And which mystery is that?
The mystery of how blood could have been dripping onto the victim's face. It becomes much easier to imagine how that could happen if he was lying down. Like someone bleeding onto Master Toanito from somewhere up above him. I remember now. Somebody was sitting up on top of Shisho.
Oh, we're reaching the boy.
So trying to recall his master's bloody killer is what spooked Owen originally.
The blood that stained the victim's face red came from the person sitting on top of him. The victim was holding a knife, so he likely nicked his attacker as he was fighting back.
This means his assailant was injured on their face somewhere. Like the forehead, perhaps?
Assuming the victim and his attacker were face to face, then yes.
I see. So that is what happened. Don't tell me Bucky has a bandage on his forehead, damn it. I knew if he was saying that that's what it was going to be. That our client has a bandage. Let me see. Damn it! Damn it, Bucky! You son of a bitch. But if I recall correctly, the accused has a fresh bandage on his forehead, does he not? That injury of Mr. Wetz is conclusive evidence that he committed this murder.
Why?
Seems you have dug yourself into a pit you cannot crawl out of.
No.
Even though I figured out the reason for Owen's out of control emotions, all I did was raise further suspicion against my own client. What do I do now?
What's the matter? You aren't thinking of throwing in the towel, are you?
But it looks so bad for Bucky. I mean, he had both motive and opportunity. Plus, he has the injury on his forehead.
Your Honor, I sense that the defense is finally ready to let it go and move on. Well, Miss Sykes, I understand that you don't want to give up on your client, but I won't allow you to prolong this trial without a good reason. Well, that lawyer did her best, but all the signs point that the defendant is guilty. Maybe it's time she gave up. She tried her hardest.
I really, really don't want to back down, but...
Silence. Simon to save the day? Athena. Are you having doubts about Bucky's innocence? Oh yeah, because Bucky's a big friend of Simon's, I think? I think it's also a thing?
I wouldn't say that. It's just...
Do you remember what you said to Bucky earlier this morning?
You mean, you believe me, ma'am?
Of course! No matter what, I believe in you to the very end.
Were those just empty words?
Of course not. It's just that all the cards are stacked against us.
Are you still stuck on that line of thinking? Motive, opportunity, and an injury to his forehead. Is that all it takes to make you stop believing in your client? Tell me again. Who are you to Bucky?
I'm Miss Chickadee lawyer.
Then do your duty and believe in him until the very end.
I will.
Simon's absolutely right. I'm Bucky's lawyer, and he's depending on me.
Defense team, please. No fighting in my courtroom.
The defense is ready to resume, Your Honor. Prosecutor Blackwell was just giving me a pep talk, that's all. Thank you, Prosecutor.
I didn't do it for your sake. I did it for the future of Wet Soba. Oh, is that what it was? He just likes Wet Soba. Maybe that's what it was. He's not friends with Bucky. It's just that he really likes Wet Soba. Or maybe both things are true. I don't quite remember.
Yeah, I got it. Defense would like to now continue with Owen's therapy session.
Owen, would you be all right with that?
Oh, okay. So, somebody was sitting up on top of Shisho, bleeding from their head, and smooshing something into Shisho's face.
That's funny.
What is it?
I still hear discord in Owen's voice. But I don't sense any inconsistencies between his statements and his emotions. And there don't seem to be any contradictions in his testimony itself either.
Ah, so that's it, huh?
Did you figure something out?
Your ability to sense emotions is making you focus too much on his feelings, Athena. But there's actually something he's being very vague about in his testimony. If you can clarify what he's feeling uncertain about with some evidence, you should be able to move forward from there.
Okay, that makes sense. I'll give it a try. I'll just update the mood matrix with this new information, and then we'll be ready to go. So I just need to present some evidence on what Owen is being vague about, huh?
What's he being vague about? Okay, blood on his face and a knife in his hand. He was on the floor and somebody was smooshing something onto his face. I guess the somebody? Who was the somebody? Oh, here's the info update.
I couldn't move at all. I was so scared. I passed out.
I couldn't move at all, maybe that? He's not saying why he couldn't move? But I have to have evidence. Let's take a look at the evidence. Maybe something will click as we look through this. So something was smooshing something onto his face. I guess that's how he died of suffocation then, huh? I don't really have much in here, do I? How does he end up like this then? I guess they could have posed him after the fact or something. Common death between 2 and 5. Cause of suffocation. Nothing was found in his lungs. I mean, maybe the autopsy report with, if I push that against him talking about the smooshing? The smooshing is suspect. Oh, I'm sorry. I missed Panda saying goodnight. Hi, Panda. I think I got really into the game there for a little bit. I'm sorry, guys. But he said, it's mixed. I am watching you on the big screen, so it's fun. I like movie night. Oh, nice. But you're nursing Nelson. Aw, he's not been, you should not, with Kakao here, and he is hypoglycemic. Aw, poor little guy. Sorry to hear that, Hoodie. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I wasn't looking up at the chat. I was just getting really into this. Bucky works at the soap shop he loves. Right, yeah, right, yes, because I was questioning that earlier. He's familiar with Bucky's father, Wet Soba number 3. Oh, that's the... Okay, I thought there was some sort of connection. There you go, Togepi. That's what it was. Okay, gotcha. Ever working out with the cards mean spelling out number 4? Yeah, it was Owen the 4th, and so it was pointing at this 4th personality that Uendo had that we found out is this 5-year-old boy, and so he's the one that's testifying now. That's why it says Owen on the screen here. So, yeah, we rearranged it, and it was Owen 4th, saying it was the 4th personality of Uendo's Owen. But Owen didn't do the murder. He witnessed it, though. At least that's what we're getting from him right now. Did I save? Let me save real quick. And I'll try presenting. I'm going to take a stab here before I look at the walkthrough. Maybe it's the autopsy report here, because we're just trying to figure out how to, like, address something he's being vague about. He's being a little bit vague about who smooshed it. Like, wouldn't he see who? Okay, she's being very vague with how she's saying that, so that was obviously wrong. Okay, that was not right. Because I think he's being vague about who did it. And he's being vague about the fact that he couldn't move. And the fact that he's not saying why, I guess. That's what I mean by that. Knife in his hand. Okay, so how about on this one, him having blood on his face and a knife in his hand, we push the crime scene photos, maybe? I just feel like that's just like not really lining up with the crime scene, but that's not really something he's being vague about, though. It's just like it's still awkward. We rotated him 90 degrees, but it's still just weird. Why does he have a knife in his hand right there? He's fighting the person here. So that would make more sense if he was like using the knife. Maybe? Nope. Nope, still wrong. Okay. Let me just look at the old walkthrough. Yeah, everybody stop being vague. Just be more specific. Come on. It's funny how cagey they can be, but I mean, it's for the purpose of the game, right? We know that, but it is just kind of funny when it comes out where they just barely say anything. It's like they do like 3-line testimonies. I'm like, oh, come on. There's more to your testimony than 3 sentences, dude. Let's see where we at. Before we got that. Okay. I was close. So it turns out I pushed the wrong thing on the wrong one. It is the one that's smooshing, but I'm supposed to present the actual crime scene itself. Oh, sorry. I was supposed to show you what I was pushing. My bad.
Let's put a name to the thing Owen's uncertain of, shall we? By identifying the murder weapon that was used to suffocate the victim. Fortunately for us, I spy the murder weapon right here in this crime scene photo.
Unfortunately for you, I spy nothing of the sort. And the police did not spy anything of the sort during their investigation either. Pray tell, where is this murder weapon you see?
You don't see it because it no longer looks the way it did when it was used as a weapon. This is what the killer pressed into Master Toanito's face.
I mean, the soba bowl's in his face, so maybe it's the soba noodles. I mean, it could have been one of the buns, but I think there's only one bun missing, and it's like half of it's right there, not mashed up. Let me save. Try clicking on the soba.
The mystery person that Owen saw press soba into the victim's face, thereby suffocating him.
I grow weary of your tasteless jokes. Oh, was that all right? How could anyone commit murder with soft, delicate soba? The noodles would instantly fall apart if they were pressed into someone's face. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Yes, I agree.
Well, I disagree. There is a way that soba could have been used to suffocate the victim.
What? You would explain your theory at once, Miss Sykes.
To kill Master Toanito, the culprit must have smothered him with a save.
There we go. Uncooked soba noodles, balled up soba noodles, uncut soba dough. I guess uncut soba dough? You could smother somebody with some dough, right? Balled up soba noodles would... Nah, I don't think that would work. I think dough would probably work though.
The culprit must have used the soba before it was cut into noodles. In other words, the murder weapon was raw soba dough.
What? Order in the court. Yes, soba dough could definitely be used to suffocate someone, couldn't it? Nothing to say, Sadmati?
Are you all right, Prosecutor Sadmati?
I was just letting the soul of the victim know that the accused will finally face justice, thanks to the foolish lawyer before me. It's because Bucky makes soba, so he would know how to make noodles, I guess, out of the murder weapon.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Allow me to summarize your statements. As the accused was killing the victim, he was slashed in the face by the victim's knife. The weapon he used to suffocate the victim with was the dough in the dressing room. He then disposed of the murder weapon by cutting the soba dough into noodles. Ah! Why, you smarmy. Afterwards, the accused put the victim's face into the bowl of soba noodles and broth to wash off the blood that had dripped onto the victim's face from his own. And there you have it. The true sequence of events behind this foul affair.
Now, wait just a minute.
Couldn't we test the blood that would be in the soba broth that's dried on the table? Maybe.
I never once said that Mr. Wed was the culprit.
Who but the accused knows how to cut dough into noodles, defense? Anybody who can make noodles? That's a very good point, Prosecutor Sadmati. I heard that cutting soba dough into uniform noodles requires considerable training. But then, what about the dying message? How do you explain that? The defendant wouldn't have known about Owen personality. Perhaps the victim was simply playing with the cards and they hold no other meaning. Perhaps he spelled out Owen's name in jest, sometime before his murder. That's true. From Owen's testimony, it's clear that Master Tornado cared for the boy. Where's Emma when you need her? Yeah, come on. With her testing kit and stuff. Some luminol. It appears we've arrived at a compelling conclusion. Taken together, all of these points paint a convincing picture of the defendant's guilt.
Owen! Is there anything else you can tell us? It doesn't matter how small of a detail, anything will do. No, you're scaring me. Oh, I'm sorry, Owen. Auntie Athena didn't mean to raise her voice.
I have to be gentler with him. I can't forget he's only 5 years old.
No need to be scared, okay, sweetie? Just tell us anything you can remember. Well, when I woke up, the person who killed Shisho was standing over me, bleeding from their head. Owen, you saw the killer's face?
Oops, I did it again.
So who was it, Owen? Do you remember? No, I don't know who it was.
I'm picking up some noise. That means there's still something to uncover in Owen's testimony.
I don't know what Owen saw, but suffice it to say, we are analyzing the dreams of a child. You've wasted enough of our time, defense. Let it go, and move on.
No! There's still discord in Owen's heart that needs to be addressed. Therefore, I can't give in here.
Owen, do you think you can continue your testimony for us?
Okay. I'll enter the new info and run an update then.
And when she says she's going to add info to an update, it just always reminds me of Lil Thief from the investigation game. Because that's always what she did with her little device. What was her name? I feel bad for forgetting her name. She's a great character. It'll come to me. After I murder someone, the first thought I have is, let me play around with some cards, right?
Shisho had blood on his face and a knife in his hand.
He was surprised and sad. Seems about right.
He was on the floor and somebody was smooshing dough into his face. I couldn't move at all. I was so scared I passed out. And when I woke up,
Oh, it's Joy.
the person who killed Shisha was standing over me.
I mean, the joy is the weird part, obviously. We're still gonna save it, though.
Got it. Despite witnessing the culprit's terrible crime firsthand, Owen experienced a positive feeling. One of relief?
The person the witness saw was no stranger. Rather, it was the accused. Therefore, it is only natural that he felt some level of relief when he saw a familiar face. Defense, end this madness and sully your soul no more.
Owen, who did you see? That nice smell. I love the smell of that perfume.
Is it gonna be the clown lady?
Bye-bye. It's the smell of... You can do it! Try to remember, Owen. Oh, the smell of... Oh!
Oh, come on, dude.
Oh, Owen! The smell of what?
It seems Owen is now resting in the infirmary. They certainly have their hands full today down there. Let's continue with the trial. Despite Owen's testimony, it is the opinion of this humble servant of the Holy Mother that the child's words were insufficient to clear the accused of suspicion.
But what about the scent of perfume Owen mentioned? I believe it's a clue that will lead us to the true culprit.
But there are thousands of perfumes in the world. It could even have been the scent of the hair product the accused uses. He does have one amazing hairstyle, so that's certainly possible. The witness is a 5-year-old boy. He could not tell the difference between conventional perfumes and hair products.
Why couldn't you have gone why couldn't you have gone for a crew cut or something, Bucky?
What's more, the only person who can cut soba noodles with such precision. Welcome in, Stella. Happy Wednesday. How are you? Is the accused, and no other. I don't know why it has to be no other. I mean, he's not the only one who makes soba noodles, bro.
Aw, man, how am I supposed to argue with that?
And so, the person Owen saw at the scene of the crime can only be the accused, Bucky Wet. What the? Oh, it's Bucky.
Hey! I never use hair products, so I ain't a dang with a smell. If I wore something like that does smell it, get into the soba. Boom, check it.
Is he roller skating?
Mr. Wet? Aren't you supposed to be resting in the infirmary?
Whatever. You think I let my soba stink of perfume? Try that chilled soba for yourself and see.
I believe we have no choice but to try it. Strictly for examination purposes, of course. Now then, let's dig in, shall we? I am doing well. Thank you, Stella. Hope you are as well. And yeah, I like Bucky. Bucky's been pretty funny so far. We haven't really got to see him much, but he definitely makes a splash every time, huh? That is so delightful. Well, I'm satisfied that there are no traces of hair products or perfume in Mr. Wet's soba. First, sweet bean buns, and now savory soba. What a delectable trial this has been. I even got some to bring home to my wife. This texture is different from the soba I had the other day. It reminds me of a dish we have in Coleraine called Banu Pun.
What you think, Miss Chickadee? My soba's pretty good, isn't it?
It's delicious. Don't you think so, Simon?
It still pales in comparison to his late father's cuisine.
Simey, why you always gotta be so hard on me?
Bailiff, take the defendant back to the infirmary at once for some rest.
Rest? Hey, I ain't a lump of plain old weedy on dough, you know? I'm fresh like my soba. You don't let soba dough rest. It's about the 3 freshes of soba. Grind the fresh seeds, cut the dough fresh, and boil the noodles for...
Good grief. What a defendant.
At least Bucky wasn't the source of the perfume smell. Wait, smelly perfume.
It looks like you remembered something.
The phrase smelly perfume reminded me of a certain somebody.
Oh, and who might that be?
There's only one person that comes to mind.
The phrase smelly perfume reminded me of this person.
Oh, it's gotta be the clown lady, right? I feel like there was something, I don't remember exactly what it was, but I feel like there's something in her testimony where... Artist and her master senior disciple, she has 12 years of performance under her belt. I guess I'm gonna try it. I saved. Guido Tornado? Yes, she did smell very nice, didn't she? Just a moment, defense. You would throw suspicion on Guido now because of a scent? Your Honor, there is no need to go along with these ever-changing claims of the defense. I suppose their claims have been awfully inconsistent.
But Guido could have been at the crime scene.
Yes, but...
You'll get to see those balloons of hers if we call her back to the witness stand.
How vulgar. His Honor is not interested in such things. Ahem. Setting the matter of her balloons aside entirely, I do believe it's appropriate to ask Guido some questions, given the circumstances.
This has nothing to do with her balloons, of course.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Polkanka.
That's hilarious, dude.
Thank you for calling this disciple of the Tornado School of Rokago back for an encore. It's me, the balloon artist you all know and love, Gidu Tornado. A 1, a 2, a balloon.
Ah, yes. What wonderful balloon artistry.
Yep, Your Honor, please. Now then, what would you like me to make for you this time? Actually, I called you back for more testimony. But I'm all talked out. This case has left me completely deflated. What? You didn't find that funny? Anyway, what exactly is going on, Simon?
It seems the person who murdered Master Tornado was wearing perfume.
And you were the only person I could think of who wears perfume. Wait, you mean I'm a suspect now? Gidu, you knew about Owen, right? Well, yes, I often played with him at Shisha's request. So that means you could have left the faked dying message, right? What? Just because I wear perfume and no Owen? You think I'm a murderer? Oh, how could you?
The witness is absolutely right. With no evidence but the distorted memories of a small child. It is outrageous of the defense to accuse this woman.
That's right. You don't even have any proof.
You may step down from the stand, Giru. The defense does not have one scrap of evidence that connects you to the crime.
Wait just 1 minute. I may not have proof, but Owen's testimony is still...
Enough! Please feel free to leave, Giru. Yeah, how is he, like, hard, like, stiff-armed right here? He doesn't get to, like, call that, right? The judge should.
But I'm so close. There must be something I can do.
Well, if the prosecutor says it's okay, then I guess I'll be going now.
Do your thing, Blackwill. Hoi, Giru. You're an entertainer, aren't you? Once you go on stage, it's your duty to complete your performance, is it not? So what are you doing, leaving halfway through?
Ah!
Oh, look at that. She's got a wound on her forehead. What? What a funny way for that to happen. That was a cool animation, that's for sure. Let's pop and have more work than hours in the day, but can raise rates to demand. Hell yeah, that's awesome. Raise them rates. Make that money. That's great to hear.
There's a bandage on Gidu's forehead. And since we know that Master Tornado's killer has a cut on their face somewhere...
Impossible.
How did you know, Simon?
I didn't, but I had to take a chance and see for myself. Otherwise, your theory would remain a groundless accusation. Slam, slam. She gave it double.
Your Honor, Prosecutor Sadmati. The scent of perfume, an injury on the forehead. These things are completely consistent with Owen's testimony. In short, the mysterious individual Owen saw in the dressing room could have been Gidu.
Miss Sykes, does this mean you are formally indicting this witness for the murder of Taifu Tornado?
Should your accusation prove to be false, hope you are prepared to pay the price in full.
Simon? What price is he talking about?
I thought that should be obvious. Prosecutor Sadmonk is saying he'll see to it that you never stand in a court of law again. And how could he do that? He's from a different country. I must say, though, he knows how to make a trial interesting.
Just whose side are you on, Simon?
Go on, then. Into the deep end with you. You really have but one choice, anyway. Well, Miss Sykes, I'm waiting.
With regards to the witness, Guido Toanito, the defense wishes to...
the defense wishes to save. We can indict her or not indict her. I mean, it seems like everything is in place to indict her, but if they're giving us a choice, I wonder if it's a switcheroo, you know what I'm saying? How's Grabnar and the puppy dog? Oh, they're doing good. Puppy's just sleeping behind me. And, yeah, Grabnar is with his kids right now. So, yeah, everything's going good. Thanks for asking. I think we should indict her. Let's do it, dude. I mean, she's got to be. I mean, who else is going to be? Our fucking client? It's got to be her. Got to be Balloon Girl. That's probably why everybody was all over her. Well, I mean, that's not why. We all know why.
There's no reason for me to hold back. Not if I really believe in my client.
The defense wishes to formally indict Guido Toanito for the murder of Taifu Toanito.
I have tried to be merciful, but now not even your pleas will reach the Holy Mother's ears. You will have plenty of time to regret your decision in the pit of hell.
Except I won't need to. The person who murdered the victim was not Mr. Wet. It was Guido Toanito. The bandages? It's just from a silly slip-up I made while cooking yesterday, that's all. What kind of extreme cooking were you doing to cut yourself on the forehead?
Yeah, nobody can resist her balloons. Exactly, Togepi.
Well, what can I say? That's what happened. You also don't have an alibi for the period before 4 p.m., do you, Guido? But, I really didn't know anything was wrong until Shisha was found dead. If you don't believe me, then, with a twist, and Balloon! There you have it, an adorable little kitty. How could you suspect a cutesy widow balloon artist like me, Guido, I've been meaning to say this for a while now, but... could it be that you don't have an eye for balloon art? Don't you think I know that? You didn't have to come out and say it. I'm the daughter of a great Rakugo artist. I never wanted to do stupid balloon art. I was supposed to be a Rakugo storyteller too, just like my late daddy. But Shisho told me to do a balloon art instead.
I guess the victim thought she had no talent as a Rakugo artist either.
So you're still gonna suspect a poor little thing like me? But please stop trying to skirt the issue. It all comes down to the scent of perfume and the cut on your forehead. You and the culprit in Owen's testimony shared these two traits. You're dead set on accusing me, aren't you? Well, here's what I have for a naughty little girls like you, with a twisty twist. I'ma cut you, witch!
What the fuck? That was great. I'ma cut you, witch. That is hilarious.
Go ahead, make me testify all you want. When the truth's revealed, it'll be your balloon or mine that goes pop. Got it?
Oh my! Is this yet another hidden personality?
Simon, is everybody in the Toanito school like this?
How should I know?
I mean, the sword balloon's not bad. The rest of her stuff's pretty ugly looking, but the sword balloon makes sense. She did that one all right. I guess it's pretty standard, though, to be fair.
Yeah, I visited the dressing room during that time to make a courtesy call after my act. Shisho and Owen were in there, but they were both snoring up a storm. I saw the note Shisho left, so I just left. Didn't want to disturb him, you know? The perfume Owen smelled must have been left over when I visited. So Gidu's saying she went into the dressing room, but then left right away.
Don't take her at her word.
Come on, do you really think I would? I'm just trying to figure out how to get her to talk about what really happened.
Now then, Miss Sykes, you may proceed with your cross-examination. Yeah, you do have a lot of, I gotta have a little chaos energy. Yeah, if you got the last name like, or a name like Tornado. Absolutely.
Yeah, I visited the dressing room during that time to make a courtesy call after my act. Hold it! A courtesy call after your performance, huh? Come to think of it, Uendo mentioned making the same kind of visit. Yeah, a visit to your master before and after your routine. That's just common courtesy with us Rakugo artists and entertainers. So that means you paid the victim a courtesy call before your performance too, right? What did you see at that time? He was having a drink and getting himself into a festive mood. He liked to say the drinking gave him a silver tongue. So he was already drinking by then. The window wasn't there in a dressing room yet at the time. Or he must have gone in there during my act, because when I went back, Shisho and Owen were in there, but they were both snoring up a storm.
One sec. Alright. I just noticed while I was away there for a second that there, you can hear the balloon hitting her shoulder. I actually did like audio for that too. I think that's awesome. I feel like they didn't have to do that.
Hold it! Could you describe how they appeared? They were both stretched out on the floor, snoozing away. So sitting the victim up and over the table must have been the culprit's doing. After all, who would have stretched out on the floor if they could take a nap? Or who wouldn't stretch out on the floor if they could take a nap? Plus, that matches up with what Owen said in his testimony. But if he was asleep, how could you tell it was Owen? How did you know it wasn't Uendo? I've known the guy for ages. One look at his face and I know which one I'm dealing with. I see.
Hey, one of my favorite cases. Yeah, I think this is a lot of people's favorite case. Welcome in, Ice. Good to see you. How you been?
I saw the note Shisho left, so I just left. Didn't want to disturb him, you know. Hold it! Where did you find your master's note? I don't know, I can't remember. Did you notice anything else unusual or out of place in the room? Well, there was a sake and a half-eaten manju on the table. But I didn't see anything else out of place or whatever in the room, though.
Oh, is that a fact?
Oh, of course it is. What do you think?
And you didn't change anything around while you were in there?
I didn't do anything. Look, I'm telling you. I didn't see anything funny near Shisho, and I didn't touch anything in the room.
Your baldness. I request that that statement be added to Gidu's testimony.
Simon, what's a statement like that gonna do for us?
Just play along and you'll see soon enough.
Ah,
I have no problem with adding that to the testimony, but how about you, Miss Sykes?
I have no problem with it either, Your Honor.
What is Simon thinking?
I assume he's talking about the TV, right? Because somebody put the TV there.
I didn't see anything funny near Shisho, and I didn't touch anything in the room. Hold it!
Like it's probably the most competent counsel in this series. Yeah, in the whole series. Yeah, I can see that. I think definitely in this game, I think he is. But I think you could probably argue some other people. I think it's definitely an arguable point, probably. He's definitely a great one, though. Can't argue against that.
So I just want to confirm. You didn't see anything at all unusual or out of place anywhere around the victim? I already told you, nothing! And you didn't touch anything at all in the dressing room? How many times I gotta say it? No, I didn't touch anything!
Wait, but then, is she saying she didn't see what Uendo immediately saw when he checked the victim's body? Does that mean it wasn't there yet at the time?
Yeah, definitely the TV.
Oh, hold on, I guess there was something. What is it? The soba making equipment was already there in the room. That means Bucky must have been there in their dressing room before me, doing something. Ah, thanks for the non-help. Well, a new statement has been added. But she's still sticking to her guns.
She said she didn't have anything she said she didn't see anything unusual in the dressing room. But that strikes me as a little strange on its own.
Really? Why?
If Master Toanito really is the one who left that, you'd think Guido would have noticed it. And if Master Toanito wasn't the one who left it, then we must ask who did. Oh, they're just talking about the note saying that they're arresting. Maybe not the TV then, but the note. Because I forgot where the note was. Maybe it was on the door? You know what I'm getting at, don't you, Athena?
I think so.
I really appreciate Simon's help, but I've got to come up with the answer myself this time.
It's always Edgy Boy. Yeah, he's a really good prosecutor. I don't think Edgeworth is ever a co-counsel. I think he was once, though. I do think he was once. I'm trying to remember when it was, but I thought there was one time when he was on the left side of the screen. I don't know. It could be wrong, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was like one small part, like a small part of a case where he just pops in at some point, you know? But I would have thought Mia. I think Mia is a really great co-counsel, and I would be totally fine if they channeled Mia again to bring her back in here, you know? Like if that happens with Maya over in Kaorain, dude, I think that'd be sick. I mean, she's the OG, dog. I mean, I know we didn't get to know her that long before she passed, but at least we still have a chance to see her, right? Oh, what was the first one? I visited the dressing room during that time to make a courtesy call after the fact. I guess it's the added statement, probably. So, let's see. So let's save, because I'm pretty sure they're getting at the note. And I guess it would be the extra, or the new added statement. We're gonna try it. So we're saying she probably should have saw his note, resting, do not disturb, and not have gone in there, right? Uh-oh, the music's still going.
The witness's statement is absolute nonsense, Your Honor, and this evidence proves it.
Uh-oh. I don't think that's true.
Wild guess incoming.
Uh-oh.
Wait, shush. You're not supposed to tell.
All right, let's load statement. Well, I don't know. Let's keep going. See what happens, I guess. See what he says. That strange device says that you're really what you're really thinking, doesn't it, Miss Sykes? I believe you introduced us to that in a game before. Or I mean a few years ago. In other words, the only real nonsense here is your wild guess, isn't it?
Youch!
Two, Widget.
Nice Caesar reference. Gotta like that. Okay, we'll look back. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. His defense for the first trial of Case 5 of Trials and Tribulation. Oh, there you go. He's on the stand when Phoenix fell into Eagle River and caught a cold. And yes, Mia is a really good co-counsel too. Yeah. Yeah, it's like honestly hard because I also like Maya as one. She's just not as useful. So it kind of depends on what we're talking about, right? Because I think Simon is the most useful, maybe. Maybe is that what you're saying too, Ice? Because he's definitely helping a lot. I feel like Mia was always like, I'll just give you a little nudge and a little hint. She never did anything. Like Simon's like just straight up, hey, I'm gonna do this now, and now we've gotten a little bit farther. There you go, Athena. You know, so he's definitely very useful. Widget deserves more lines. I agree, Togepi. I do agree. Widget could be a real funny thing to throw in a lot more often than they do. I expect it sometimes, and they don't have a Widget line. I'm just like, huh, that totally could have been a great spot for that. Yes, Blackwell hard carries. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, great way of putting it. Oh, let's see. Let's see. Something. It has to be something about the note. Maybe I just pushed it on the wrong one. Take a little peek here. Oh my gosh, we have to present something we've presented like 5 times. I just like feel like we should be using more evidence, dude. Okay, well, I probably wouldn't have thought of that because I'm trying to think outside the box here. Though we're actually supposed to use the crime scene report because I guess the note would have here something. Why is it this? Victim is making soba noodles covered in soba flour. Am I on the wrong one? No, it's got to be the right one. I don't understand exactly how I was supposed to come to this conclusion. It's not even making sense here. It says only Taifu, Uendo, and Gidu knew about Owen. Uendo wouldn't have implicated one of their own personalities, and Bucky had no idea Owen even existed. Taifu was already dead. So it's the cards on the table? Okay, man. I guess that's what they were trying to hit me at the whole time. Okay, yeah, it's making more sense. I was just so on the wrong piece of evidence. Well, there we go. That's why I consult the guide, because I'm too dumb sometimes. This is actually alive and thus doesn't need to be channeled, right? Yep. It's a little bit more handy. But I guess in a way, depending on how you look at it again, right? I think that almost makes Mia cooler in some weird way because she's like forever existing as long as you have somebody who can channel her. I think it's kind of cool because she could be Pearls or Maya, and it just depends on how you're thinking about it, right? But definitely Blackwell's more useful in that case. But I think in like a more of just like I don't know, my opinion type of way, I think it is cooler that Mia's dead but can still help. That's pretty sick. But I suppose Simon could too if he died. So I mean, it's not really an advantage that only Mia has. Anyway.
Gidu, you said that you didn't notice anything odd or unusual near your master.
Not the master.
You also said you didn't touch anything in the dressing room. That's right. What about it? Then, I wonder who left that dying message with the Karuta cards. What are you going on about? It had to have been Bucky. Sorry, but that's not possible. Because only 3 people knew of Uendo's personalities. Uendo, your master, and you.
If Bucky had left that Karuta message, he wouldn't have spelled out Owen. He would have spelled out Uendo.
What it boils down to is this. As a member of the Toanito school, you, Gidu Toanito, are the only one who could have left that dying message. And as the person who left that message, it's clear that you are Master Tornado's killer. Will you ever quit your yapping?
You are like wretches clinging to the spider thread. The spider thread of salvation. Spider thread. Okay, I guess I get that. It threw me off. Allow me. I do find it hard to see what route they are trying to go with, like a mundane piece of evidence becomes critical. Yeah, that's like how these games work too sometimes, isn't it? Sometimes I just don't understand how I was supposed to come to that conclusion. But I feel like that has been happening less and less, I guess. Either I'm getting better at understanding how the game wants me to think, or the games have gotten like less convoluted. I don't know. It's hard to say because it still seems pretty convoluted sometimes. But yeah, it just feels like it happens to me less. Allow me to cut that holy thread from the heavens and bring you back down to earth.
Would you quit butting in whenever things start to go my way?
Silence, child. Playtime is over.
What did you just say?
As the witness stated, she went into the dressing room and soon came back out again.
Cat.
But the victim's note was not the only reason she left with such haste. There was another reason that compelled Guido to leave at once. Guido, would you please relate said reason to the court? Tripped on the TV, why would you leave that by the door? And you stubbed your toe? God damn it! Nice one, nice callback, Crispy, I like that. And welcome in. Good to hear from you, I'm glad you're here. As Mitchell Blackwell roasts the worst character in this series. He roasts the worst character? Oh, because he calls him Sad Monk? That's true. Yeah, it took me a second to realize what you're saying, but yeah, you're right. You're right.
There was a reason why Guido had to leave the dressing room.
Or there was a reason that she had to leave the dressing room?
Well, I didn't want to show you this, but I guess I got no choice. Keep your eyes peeled.
Oh, I didn't see the last part. Oh. Eczema?
Your hand is swollen and red. What happened, Guido? If you must know, I'm allergic to buckwheat. What? What?
Well, doesn't that just prove that she had it in her hand then if she's got an allergic reaction? Doesn't that not help her? Because soba noodles are made from buckwheat? Allergic reactions to buckwheat can vary, though they're usually on the severe side. With Taifu Tornado making soba noodles in his dressing room, Guido is lucky to still be alive, considering all the soba flour that was swirling in the air.
Good thing I left pretty quick. I managed to escape with just a mild reaction. But I touched Shisho as he was being carried away, and look what it did to my poor hands. There must have been soba broth on its clothes or something. If I'd inhaled any of that soba flour, I'd have had a seizure, and it'd been good night, Guido. I never could have stayed in that dressing room for very long.
A person allergic to buckwheat couldn't be in a room with soba flour in the air. And certainly couldn't use soba dough as a murder weapon either.
This isn't good.
You knew it would come to this, didn't you? That's why you never mentioned her allergy. As if I would do anything so underhanded. I was simply trying to protect the privacy of this witness.
I'm sick of all these accusations. Why don't I just testify and get it all out in the open, yeah?
Sure, yeah. Let's hear the truth. For once. Blackwell certainly has some interesting friends, though. Yeah, that seems to be like his thing. Is he knows a lot of people, doesn't he? A lot of connections.
If I come into the slightest contact with buckwheat, I get an allergic reaction. And with that much soba flour in the air, that room could have literally killed me. Look at my hand. Just touching Shisho's body caused this much damage. There must have been soba broth on its clothes. so I never could have committed that murder in the dressing room.
It's looking pretty bad for us.
I still can't believe it. Nobody told me she had a soba allergy.
Well, it's a buckwheat allergy, right? Is soba buckwheat? This is what they call it.
Did you know, Simon?
Does it look like I knew? Protect the privacy of the witness. My foot. What a dirty trick. That's something I would pull.
Now what do we do?
There's only one thing to do. But Prosecutor Sadmonk to shame with... Wait. Put Prosecutor Sadmonk to shame with your cross-examination. There we go.
Right. No matter how small, I'll find us an opening and break her testimony down.
Like, was actually pretty honest. Yeah, but he would still, like, not show something, I feel like. I feel like he actually did that. I mean, I don't remember exactly, but... Yeah, you can be honest and still, like, because it's not like Nayuta wasn't honest by not showing that. There's a whole law in America that you're not supposed to know something unless you have to know it. It's called HIPAA. And so I don't think that Nayuta was being dishonest at all right there. It was just a tactic like Blackwell, I think, would use. For sure.
If I come into the slightest contact with buckwheat, I get an allergic reaction. Hold it. Hold it. You're not lying about this soba allergy of yours, right? Of course not. I swear in the grave of my father up in heaven. I can even get you a doctor's certificate if you want.
She seems to be telling the truth.
I've had this allergy for as long as I can remember. But I never dreamt in a million years it'd clear me of murder.
And you'll come out of this smelling like a delicate buckwheat flower to boot. What?
Well said, Your Honor.
Wait. I don't think she wants to be a buckwheat flower. She's allergic to it, dog. Well, it wasn't relevant until now, my dude. Because the soba part didn't matter until now. So I don't think you would have had... I mean, whatever. I'm not going to argue about it.
And with that much soba flour in the air, that room could have literally killed me. Hold it. I'll give you that there was quite a bit of flour scattered about that dressing room. But you went in to pay your respects to your master regardless, right? Yeah, but like I said, I came right back out. I mean, the soba making tools were right there. You better believe I was careful not to breathe any of it in. But you still could have committed this crime if you held your breath while doing it. Don't be ridiculous. I would have suffocated to death before Shisho did. Yeah, I guess you're right. Jeez, get a grip, will ya? Look at my hand. Just touching Shisho's body caused this much damage. Hold it! Maybe there's a twist here. Like you're actually allergic to dogs and not soba? You kidding? Bringing my little Jujimu in here, I'll hug and squeeze him like there's no tomorrow. I'm telling you, I have a genuine, honest-to-goodness soba allergy.
Like, I think I believe her so far. Defense. The witness clearly has an authentic allergy to buckwheat. Any further deliberation on the matter would be meaningless, pointless, worthless.
You heard the man, lawyer girl.
I like how Athena does the double slam thing.
All right, fine. I was just starting to think the same thing myself.
Doesn't mean I have to like it, though.
I probably got this allergic reaction on my hand here because I touched Shisho. There must have been soba broth on his clothes. Hold it! I have a question about that, actually. If you're allergic to soba, does that mean you're allergic to the noodle broth too? Well, the buckwheat from the noodles can dissolve into the broth, so duh. Touching soba broth can be just as deadly for me. Don't you know anything? What an amateur. I'm sorry.
Do I look like a doctor to you?
I mean, you're trying to do therapy, so maybe some kind of doctor.
Look. Anything that has soba in it, or anything that has touched soba, is like poison to me. So I never could have committed that murder in the dressing room. Hold it. So I just want to cover all my bases, but could the murder have possibly occurred somewhere other than the dressing room?
I mean, that's classic Ace Attorney shit right there. That is out of the question. It's like, this case would be so much longer if that were true, I feel like. Like, this is the last part of this one. By even asking, you show your complete disregard for all we have discussed until now. Yes, I have to agree. The defense can go around suggesting new premises without basis.
Unfortunately for you, Shisho didn't take a single step from his dressing room around the time of the murder. Well, that is unfortunate for everyone.
Gidu could not have possibly committed this crime in a room where soba was being made. Finally, the time has come for the last rites of the victim to begin.
What would Mr. Wright do in a time like this?
Auf geht's. There's only one thing to do.
What are you smiling about? Has the pressure overwhelmed you?
Nope. It's just the worst of times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles.
I see. You have no rebuttal. And so the only thing left to do is to smile.
Oh, ho, 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 ho. That's where you're wrong. I do have a rebuttal.
Turn your thinking around, Athena. Don't try to figure out how Gidu, who is allergic to soba, could commit the crime. Figure out how Gidu could be in that room and not have an allergic reaction instead.
Let me rest? Huh. Maybe if I were a lump of regular flour dough or for udon noodles. But I'm fresh, like my soba. And you don't let soba dough rest. It's all about the three freshes. Grind the buckwheat seeds fresh, cut the dough fresh, and boil the noodles. He's blacked out.
It appears to have been written by the victim. Allow me to read it. Resting. Do not disturb.
Yes, that's the note I saw. After reading that, who wouldn't think Shisho was napping? If you must know, I'm allergic to buckwheat.
Mon Dieu!
What if that certain piece of evidence doesn't mean what we think it means? If that's the case, I might be able to prove that Gidu could have committed this crime.
Is it that the dough is resting and not a person? No matter how hard you search your mind, you cannot overturn facts. Well, Miss Sykes, if you have no further objections, I'll hand down my ruling. Aw, man. Just found out we're in a tornado watch. Gosh darn it. Check the radar really quick.
True, I can't overturn facts, but what if we got our facts about a piece of evidence wrong?
She made a balloon hazmat suit. Yeah, maybe I think a hazmat suit would have been extremely noticeable, right? Oh yeah, and then still said hazmat suit. Yeah, that seems like that would have been very noticeable. But maybe she could be breathing with balloons somehow? Question mark? I'm thinking maybe the dough was resting, and so the dough wasn't anywhere near it? I don't know. We'll see. Got our facts wrong. What are you talking about now? And which piece of evidence do you mean, Miss Sykes? Please point it out to this court.
This evidence proves that Gidu could have killed her master even with her soba allergy.
Wow. Okay, does it? Yeah, I hope I do, man. It seems like it's a pretty small storm. Let's see. I'm sorry, I'm watching the playback on the radar now. See what's going on. Yeah, it looks like most of it's gonna miss me. And I'm just gonna get a little bit here where I live. It's mostly north of me, like where the bad rain is expected to be. So I think I'll be fine. I hope everybody else is safe, but I do think that I'll be fine, hopefully. Just a little bit of rain, honestly, is what it looked like on the radar. So that's good for me.
This evidence proves that Gidu could have killed her master.
Okay, let's see. What was it? What is the evidence? I feel like it could be this. Resting, do not disturb. As in, don't disturb the dough, because you let dough rest, right? But, I mean, I know that Bucky just said you do it all fresh. I'm also just not sure what else it would even be. I did save, didn't I? Save again. Let me take a stab at it. Try that.
It's Master Tornado's note!
The note? Preposterous. What possible connection could there be between the witness's allergy and that note?
The answer lies in the true meaning of this note.
Its true meaning? I didn't know it was that deep. Life in the Midwest, tornado watches. Yeah, it's a lot of tornado watches. Thankfully, in my life and in my area, it seems like not so many tornadoes, not so many touchdowns, but a lot of watches. It's got to be safe. Sometimes they like halfway come down. I've seen one halfway come down and like not quite touch. It's fucking crazy, dude.
This note does not mean I am resting, do not disturb, as we had assumed. But rather, it actually means this dough is resting, do not disturb it.
Wait a minute, Athena. That doesn't make any sense.
You're right, it doesn't. After all, as Bucky told us many a time, you don't let soba dough rest. What's all this jibber jabber you gotta do with anything?
It's because she doesn't know how to make soba, so she faked the note?
This is it, the home stretch. This note and Mr. Wet's words have led me to the conclusion that Master Tornado was
not making anything, making soba noodles, making udon noodles. Well, he's making udon noodles because what he said is like, maybe if I was an udon noodles, because you do let those rest, but not with soba. Maybe Bucky did say that. Gotta save it. Saving it. Making udon noodles. So then she wouldn't be allergic and she could kill him with the dough. Right? Makes it all fit.
The victim, Taifu Tornado, was not making buckwheat noodles. He was making ordinary udon noodles instead.
Polkanka!
That layer of flour in the dressing room wasn't soba flour, but plain old wheat flour for udon.
And Emma could have told us that, I'm sure. Where the hell is Emma?
So actually, it was totally possible for Gidu to be in that room and kill her master.
What? She's got some balloon stuck to her face? What? But if that's true, it changes everything.
Your Honor, the defense requests that the flour in the room be tested immediately.
But soba noodles were found in the bowl, and Gidu did have a reaction in her hand. How do you explain those things?
Well,
Even were it udon flour instead of soba, you still cannot prove Gidu committed the crime.
but...
Don't lose your nerve now. Keep charging forward and you'll feel my blade at your back. Or you'll feel my blade. Yeah, not and. You don't want to do that.
Enough with the threats already, I got it. Talk about pressure. All right, Athena, take a deep breath and go over everything again.
We're gonna do our climax mode. Here we go.
I'm going to re-visualize the case from start to finish. I have to find conclusive evidence that Gidu committed this murder. What was Master Toanito making in his dressing room?
He was making udon. That's what we just said. Let me say. Oh, I guess I can just show you the main screen. It's got all the choices. Master Toanito was making udon. Thinking time. It's just like a brain blast from Jimmy Neutron, right? Brain blast.
By my logic, Master Toanito must have been making udon noodles in his dressing room. But something at the crime scene indicates otherwise.
He was actually making life choices. What was found in the bowl on the table? It was soba, is what they said. There was soba in the bowl. Is that why Bucky was so mad? Because he was making udon noodles instead of buckwheat? He's like, hey, what the fuck are you doing?
Even though the master wasn't making soba, soba noodles were found at the scene. So that means the noodles had to have come from somewhere. Wait a minute. One mysterious serving of soba noodles? That sounds familiar. Where did the soba in the bowl on the table come from?
The master's soba stock, a catering service, or Gidu made it. It would have been the master's soba stock, I guess. Didn't he have a stock of soba noodles? The master's soba stock. I don't think Gidu would have made it. I mean, maybe she did because that would explain the thing on her hand, though. If she made it, then that would have given her the reaction, right? So maybe Gidu made it? He could. I thought he did have a stock of soba, though. I don't know. Let me. I'm gonna save it in another slot here. I'm gonna try Gidu made it because that would put the reaction on her hand. So I'm gonna say she made it. Nope. Oh yeah, I don't even have to save because I forget. It just lets me try again. She's allergic to buckwheat. Yeah, but that made the thing on her hand though, right? Just touching it made her hand swell and turn red.
She could have made the soba noodles. So in that case,
I guess it was from a stock then. Okay. The soba was from the master's soba stock.
the soba noodles found at the scene were from the master's stock of uncooked noodles.
Is that why the fridge was open then, I guess? Because there's like 2 drinks in the fridge and that note was made, but like we've never connected it to anything, I don't think.
But then why would the culprit go out of her way to cook that soba and put it in the bowl? Why did the culprit cook the soba noodles and put them in the bowl?
To hide the udon dough, she likes soba. It's probably because she likes soba, right? To hide the dough. Culprit wanted to hide the udon dough.
Soba was found at the scene. So that means the culprit must have taken the udon with her to hide it. But why did the culprit take the udon away and hide it? It must have been because she...
has a grudge against udon, killed him with the soba dough, killed him with the udon dough. She killed him with the udon dough. The murder weapon was udon dough. Honestly, I really like that part. I think that's really cool when they do that. There was a fourth man!
That's it! The udon dough is the real weapon used to kill Taifu Tonito! And the reason why no weapon was found is because Gidu got rid of the dough somehow. The real murder weapon was the udon dough the victim made. If we can find this dough, that'll prove my theory correct. And undeniably prove Gidu's guilt.
Even if we could find this dough, what makes you think that it would prove she is the one?
Please recall Owen's eyewitness testimony, Prosecutor Sadmati. If the injury on Gidu's forehead was caused by the victim's knife, then Gidu's blood must have dripped down onto the dough used as the murder weapon. That would make the dough pretty conclusive evidence, wouldn't you agree?
Ah, but where is this conclusive evidence? Let us hear your theory on where this murder weapon is.
Well, it's...
If I can't find the answer in the evidence I have on hand, we'll lose this trial. So how did Gidu get rid of the udon dough? Think, Athena. What do I have that points to suspicious behavior on Gidu's part?
I mean, she gave noodles to the dog or whatever, right? Now then, Miss Sykes, let's hear your answer. So the dog burying the stuff is going to come into play. I think at the beginning of the stream, I was like, what the fuck? Why is that in here? But here it is. It came around. I mean, I'm maybe getting ahead of myself. Where is this real murder weapon hidden? Nice barking you did there. See what I did, huh? Barking. I assume you have the bite to back it up. Uh-huh. Yeah, yep. See what I'm saying?
Stop distracting me, especially not right now.
Oh, look, you hear me talking about dogs, and he's like, I'm here, buddy. Loki heard me talking about feeding dogs, and he's like, oh, you can feed this dog. I'll take some noodles. It all connects. Yes, it's all coming together. What are you doing, Loki? You're too big to be on my lap, buddy. You silly Billy. Good boy. Good boy. He's a good boy. You wanna know what happens in the story, buddy? You wanna know what happens next, Loki? Good boy. All right. Let's see. This piece of evidence can point us to the location of the hidden murder weapon, which was the one that we talked about. Was it the diagram that had the notes? No. It was Simon's statement. Right? Yeah, Gidu was outside feeding her dog a number of dumplings. The dog buried his leftovers in the yard. That's gotta be it. Gotta be it, dude. All right, let's save it. It slows down all of a sudden.
Gidu. Huh? What is it? I'm just an innocent girl. I don't know anything about a murder. Stuff that cute act in your balloon hat. Huh? Gidu got rid of the dough she used to kill Master Tonito in a bold and daring way. She did it right in front of Prosecutor Blackwell's nose by feeding it to her dog. No, I...
Of course. Now it all makes sense. I was puzzled as to why Gidu, who should know her own dog's eating habits, would feed Jujimu more than he could possibly finish.
Your Honor, please order an investigation of the yard right now.
And what should the police at the theater be looking for exactly?
Jujimu must have buried his leftover dumplings somewhere around the doghouse. Dumplings that Dumplings that Gidu made out of the udon dough with her blood in it.
This is preposterous.
I want to thank you, Simon. If you hadn't kept me going, I might have given up along the way.
What are you blathering on about? You still have work to do. Now, by your hand, finish this wretched case off, Athena.
You got it! Gidu, do you remember what you said would happen when the truth is finally revealed? When the truth's revealed, it'll be your balloon or mine that goes pop. Got it?
Well, her balloons are about to be popped, let me tell you.
Well, now the truth is out, and it looks like, to me, like... it's your balloon that goes pop!
Ah! Hit me in the face.
I'm a Rakugo artist. I was the one who was supposed to inherit that name.
Loki, what are you doing? Knocking stuff over, buddy? Come on. It's the climax. Pop, pop, pop. And then there's some more balloons.
Why are my balloons bursting? Daddy, are you mad at me? I've been a bad girl.
Oh, there you go. Pop. There, nice one. Good gasp.
Loki, what do you want, buddy? You're just mad because I'm making all these weird sounds,
Aren't you? You're probably freaked out. Whoa, that's what she looks like. Loki, buddy, what's up, buddy? He's like, why are you making all these weird sounds?
It's okay, puppy dog. I'm okay. I'm just being silly.
No.
Are you ready to tell us everything now, Gidu?
The whole reason I entered the world of Rakugo in the first place was to follow in my father's wonderful footsteps and inherit his stage name.
His stage name? You don't mean...
Uendo Tornado.
I knew I wasn't very good at storytelling, but I thought that if I did the stupid balloon thing like Shisha wanted, I'd inherit the name someday.
But Master Tornado gave the name to his junior disciple.
Yeah. That's why I took my revenge on Shisho during the show celebrating the name succession.
So that was your entire motive?
I doubt anybody else can understand, but inheriting my father's name was everything to me. It was my whole reason for living.
Of all the days you could have taken your revenge, why did you choose the day of the show?
Because I wanted to pay Uendo back for stealing what was rightfully mine. I wanted to pin the blame on him at the show where all the Tornado fans were gathered.
But then, Uendo tried to shift the blame onto Bucky Wet.
And now, we know the whole story.
There's just one more thing I wanted to know. Did you know Master Tornado was making udon in his dressing room yesterday?
No, I didn't. When I saw the soba making tools, I was worried about my allergy. But it was my only chance to get my revenge on the two of them. So I went ahead and did it.
So it was a premeditated crime, but in the end, you only went through with it on impulse. Then the allergic reaction on your hand is from touching the soba in the refrigerator with your bare hands. When you were tampering with the crime scene after your master's death.
Yeah. By that time, I wasn't clear-headed enough to worry about my allergy.
Gidu, How could you do all this, you idiot?
Gidu, I get your desire to inherit your father's name. But what you really should have inherited from him wasn't his name, but his heart. His heart.
Now the rare two shot there. Do you have anything to add, Prosecutor Sadmati? Any objections? No, Your Honor. Miss Athena Sykes.
Yes?
That's the first time he's used my name.
I shall be sure to remember your name.
Really?
It seems he finally recognizes you as a proper adversary.
Thanks. That's all I ask, Prosecutor Sadmati.
It looks like there are no further objections, Bailiff. Please bring in the defendant. Ah, good. Seems you've made a full recovery. Now then, this court finds the defendant Bucky Wet not guilty. And there you go, little guy. Just for you. Now, give me some soba. And give me another box for my wife. Yay! Do I have my confetti working still? Is that button still work? Boom, confetti! This court is adjourned! May 13th, 11:55 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 6.
Congratulations, Bucky. I'm so glad you were found innocent.
Thanks for everything, Miss Chickadee.
But it still sucks that you were accused of a crime you didn't commit. Did Uendo have it out for you or something?
I don't think so.
The window said it was a spur-of-the-moment idea he got when he saw the Soba-themed cards.
Simon, where have you been?
I stopped in at Uendo's questioning. Only you, Bucky, could get framed for a crime on a whim.
No way. I almost got convicted out of
Convenience? I almost got convicted out of convenience? Why could I not say that?
I almost got convicted out of convenience?
Well, at least you've been completely cleared of all charges, so buck up, Bucky. On a more important note, what I really want to know is, why did Master Toanito let Guido inherit her father's name?
What do you mean on a more important note, Miss Chickadee?
Ah, don't be such a wet blanket. Just go with the flow. Now, come on. You think the Master was trying to encourage her to quit the entertainment business?
Nah, that's not it. He didn't give the name to her because he wanted Gidu to find her own calling in life. To perform whatever she wanted without being bound by her father's name or Rakugo. Making udon was his way of showing his support for her and her new endeavor.
So that's why he called you to the theater, huh? To teach him how to make udon?
A more roundabout way I've never seen, but that's Master Toanito for you.
So this entire incident happened because of a misunderstanding? How sad.
By the way, Guido wasn't the only person Master Toanito was trying to cheer on. Even though the person in question still seems unaware of the Master's intentions.
What? You talking about me? Come on, no way! All that old man ever did was criticize my soba.
That's not true, Bucky.
There must be a way to make Bucky see just how much Master Tonio cared about him.
Would it be the deed? I mean, I assume it's the deed, but I'm gonna double check so I don't get this wrong. Yeah, okay.
Take a good look, Bucky. Whose name is on there as the holder of this title deed?
It's still my name.
Master Tornado was just up to one of his tricks when he said he stole the shop from you. He was trying to force you to grow into a truly capable owner in your own father's stead.
He probably used some tough love on you so that the shop wouldn't just go belly up.
His hair flops over. They're like noodles.
I see. I never knew. Oh, Master Tornado, I'm so sorry.
Keep working hard, Bucky, and pay him back by living up to his expectations.
Thanks, Simey. And you too, Miss Chickadee. One day, my soba's gonna be so good, it'll knock that old man's socks clean off. After all, I'm the 4th generation owner of Wet Soba, Wet Noodle number 4. Well, I'd better get going back to my shop. I gotta get ready for the lunch rush.
Hold on. Could I place an order for delivery, Bucky?
Yes, Miss Chickadee.
Could you deliver a bowl of udon to Gidu on behalf of her master?
You got it. I'll make sure it's got all the TLC Master Tornado would have packed in it too.
Thank you.
Well, see ya. Be sure to drop by the shop sometime.
I will, and I'll bring the whole agency with me. Maybe it'll be better than Eldoon's.
Do us all proud, Bucky.
I'll have the best soba in town waiting for you when you come. Peace out.
It's nice to see somebody giving it their all, isn't it? I wonder if I leveled up any thanks to this case. Better check my stats.
Don't kid yourself. The trial would have been a spectacle and a half had I not been by your side. True facts, dude. Speaking the truth.
You don't know that.
For a lawyer who's versed in psychology, you're too full of weak points. You need to learn to analyze yourself more objectively.
Or you could just teach me your famous mind tricks, Simon.
No.
Why? Way to shut someone down. And why not?
Because the more pesky lawyers there are, the harder my job becomes. So it's in my best interest for you to remain green forever.
Hey, what about what's in my best interest, huh? Besides, weren't you the one who had the wool pulled over your eyes by Uendo?
Must you remind me? How could I have known Uendo would do time soba?
Hey, speaking of time soba, I just thought of something funny.
Oh, goody, I can't wait.
Okay, here it is. In time soba, why didn't Mon number 9 get counted? Come on, do you know, Simon?
How should I know?
Because 7, 8, 9.
Nice. Never heard that form of it, but I know that joke.
Thank you, I'll be here all week.
Okay, hold on. The widget doesn't get very many lines, so I gotta respect him by giving him the voice. Wait, they didn't even go?
ROTFL.
That I should have known. Come on, let's go get sober or something and go home.
Your treat?
I'll treat you to 50% of the tab. And don't forget, you still owe me for that manju.
Really, Simon? It wouldn't hurt for you to pay for me every once in a while, you know?
Quit squawking and start walking, Athena.
Hey, wait for me! I may still have a ways to go as a lawyer, but just like Mr. Right, Apollo, and Simon before me, I'm going to get there someday. After all, I've inherited their passion for our courts and the law. Je peux le faire. I can do this.
And there we go. That's another case down. What do you think, Loki? What do you think, little guy? You excited for the next episode, Loki?
Oh, he is excited. Oh, he is. He wants to play.
All right, the next one is called Turnabout Revolution. Talking about a revolution of sounds. All right, well that's where we're gonna end the stream tonight, everybody. So obviously it's a perfect place to end. So we will be starting on to Turnabout Revolution next week. So be sure to tune in for that. As far as my next stream, I don't think I'll be streaming for the rest of the week, but I should be back on Monday. I think we still got another stream of side quests to do in Sherlock, or we might be able to finish it out. It depends on how long the side quests take us in Sherlock. So Monday we'll be doing some more Sherlock. If we don't finish on Monday, I might end up finishing on Tuesday. But yeah, and then other than that, back around to Wednesday for some more Spirit of Justice. Let me check where we're at here. All right, you guys want to do a raid? If anybody wants to stick around, I'd appreciate it for the raid. But if not, have a good night. Thanks for hanging out. But yeah, we're gonna see what friends we got online. Hey, you two Ice, thanks for coming to hang out. Night Togepi, Night Stella, see you Crispy, and Hoodie if you're still out there. We'll see you later. And anybody else who might be in there. So when the Athena trilogy, Capcom, right, dude? I'd like a Athena trilogy. Hell yeah, dude. Well, let's freaking go. Who do we got? Who do we got? Oh, we got Toasty Bears on. We haven't rated her in a long time. She's playing Jack and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy. That sounds pretty cool. Let me see if she's still going strong over here. Try to prevent myself from rating into somebody who's rating out. Oh, I don't know. She is in her chatting screen, so I think she might be ending soon. Let's see. We got Fan's also on. Let's see if Fan's still going. Yeah, it looks like Fan's in the middle of things. Fan is playing some Marvel Spider-Man 2. So if you guys are interested in that, we're going to go jump on over into Fan's stream. There we go. The raid has started. I really appreciate anybody who jumps on that raid. And yeah, I just want to say thanks to everybody again for coming to hang out tonight. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the game. Let me try to jump into Fan stream on my other PC too. There it is, Fan 27. Cool. All right, you guys have a good night. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you hopefully on Monday. Bye, guys. I think we ended up with, what, 2, 3 people? That's all right. No problem.